Hey there, welcome back to The Magic in the Music. I'm Jen. We have so much information we wanted to share with you about our recent Disney cruise that we have split our reaction video into numerous different segments, and this is part 3 of our cruise reaction. So we're going to jump right back into the conversation right now. Okay, well, we're moving on to our next category, and this is going to be entertainment.
Entertainment.
This is a big deal to us because, hey, our channel is The Magic in the Music. We're big music fans. We love all things musical, theatrical. We love performing arts, I would say. That's really a thing we've bonded over. I'm a music teacher, so it's my world. And I know you love and appreciate it a lot, too.
I do, too.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. First of all, I'm going to say don't miss the shows. There are all kinds of different shows. We'll talk about these, but we took in as much entertainment as we possibly could, and I was really glad we did. First thing is the lounges and the casual entertainment. There's a lot of stuff just going on around the ship. There was a pianist in Nightingales, which is like a piano bar kind of thing. I don't have his name handy, but he was very good. He was new in that role, but he was very, very good, and I know... we know some of the performers who've done that role before are excellent. There were some live musicians that played in the Bayou and fun sets.
Fun sets.
Yeah. And then casual, there was other like...
Let's see here.
Well, there were games and things like that.
There were quiz games and
There's a lot of that. Karaoke.
Karaoke.
Oh, quiz games. We got to show our swag. Look what we got.
Yeah.
So when we actually were in top 3... Yes. For one of the quizzes, and they gave us these medals for our whole family. You get that other one. You have another one.
Oh, yeah.
We were winners, and
if you say so.
It was, I don't know, according to this. We were winners for the Disney Channel trivia.
Oh, yeah. Disney Channel trivia.
So that was fun. So do those. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
We liked it. And they did a great job of organizing that and keeping it fun. I expected more people to be into that than there were.
Yeah.
It was a little bit light.
But at the same time, if you're into bingo, oh my gosh.
Wow, bingo was huge.
That was like, there were more people in the bingo thing than at most everything else. Right?
I was a little surprised because I thought that more of the people on this ship were going to be like hardcore Disney people like we are, where it's like, oh, we have all this, like... I thought there'd be all this competition for the trivia, and it's like it wasn't. There, a lot of people were like way more casual Disney fans than we expected. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It just was different than I expected.
Well, but they also had a whole bunch of different trivia things. So they might have gone to one of the other trivia things too. So
characters on the ship. There were a lot of characters. Character interactions were really fun. They had adorable outfits on. They have like the nautical look. And then on Pirate Night, they all wear their pirate stuff. Super, super cute. But wow, the lines.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point where like I came downstairs to get our kids out of the kids club. And it was kind of like right before dinner. So I figured there'd be a big rush. And I'm like... wow, there's this giant line to get like kids out of the kids club. This is going to take forever because there was like probably 25 people in the line. And it turns out they were there
25 parties probably.
Yeah, 25 parties. They were there waiting to meet Ray and Chewbacca. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to pass you guys by.
It's like
but, it's tough when... and maybe it's because of the duration of our cruise.
Yeah, it was only 4 nights.
Only 4 nights, so, I think people were really chomping at the bit to like get their photos.
And we're Disney World annual pass holders, so we see characters.
Yeah.
But I call us opportunistic character people. We don't go stand in line for 45 minutes for a character, like never. But when we see a character who just came out and no one's lined up yet, we're like, oh, boom, let's go do this character. Let's go see them. Or like just if the opportunity presents itself.
Right.
And you're like, oh, we could wait 5 minutes or less and see this character. We'll do it.
Yeah.
But we don't go out of our way. We don't suck up a lot of our time on character meet and greets. We love characters, but again, we don't want to use up our time on it. So it felt like a lot of people were like really using up a lot of their time on characters.
Yeah, and I kind of felt bad for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, well, if this is their once... a lifetime thing, and they don't see like the characters in the park all that often, then they should do it.
What we liked was, I liked that we could see the characters in the shows without having to do the lines. And actually, if you want to just kind of do like a quick fire, like see a bunch of characters without standing in a bunch of lines, go to, it was on the C-Day, there was like a character
dance party
thing, and it was in the Great Hall area.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It was great.
Because it just was like, the characters come out, they're on the stage, then they kind of dance and do some choreographed stuff, and then they come down and then they like mix and mingle with the kids, so you can kind of interact with them but not really have to do a meet and greet.
Yeah.
And but then one by one they would each have a song, and they'd come up on the stage and kind of be featured, and you can kind of see them up closer, and then that was it. Now there is also on Pirate Night, there's like a show that has characters, and for that one I showed up 35 minutes beforehand, and you guys joined me 30 minutes before. Yeah. So we waited 30 plus minutes to get right up in the front so we could get a really good view, mainly so our children could get a good view. And there were other families with us that had like waited almost as long, right up there. And then some other people came up behind us and kind of like had their kids kind of fill in the little gaps between our kids, and we were standing behind our children. And that was fine, and they kind of filled in the gaps. And then somebody came in with 5 kids, and like 5 minutes before the show started. So like I've already been here 30 minutes, and our children are pretty polite. Yeah. So if somebody else tries to push their way in, they just would let them go. And multiple times anyways, person came in like 5 kids, shoves all 5 of their kids in, and my kids just like move aside. And I'm just like, no. I think both of us were like, no,
excuse us, we're here,
no,
we're here
they're
already.
Standing here. And then the person was mad, and it's like, they're just kids. And it's like, yeah, and our kids stood here for 30 plus minutes to have this view. They don't get to come push our kids out of the way.
Yeah.
Yes, they are just kids.
And I mean,
at a certain point you have to say, no, our children earn this spot. Yeah. Let them watch the show.
I mean, admittedly, this happens in the parks too.
It does, and it has happened to us before.
So, I mean, don't let people just come in and push you out of the way. Yeah. I mean, if you've been waiting there, you deserve to see the view that you waited there for.
And I think maybe the person somebody was a little huffy about it. Maybe they thought we were adults who didn't have children. But it was one of those situations where if we just backed off and said to our kids, okay, you guys stay here.
They would just take our spots.
They would have gone, oh, okay. And they would have let other people just shove them out of the way. Yeah. Particularly our youngest would completely have just let people push them out of the way. If we got there early enough to get those spots, then we're going to stay there close enough at arm's length that we can say, no, you stood here and waited for this spot. Don't let other people shove you out of your spot. You have, and I mean, you earned your spot to watch.
We still let some kids like
squeeze around as much as possible. Yeah.
But it's like, we're not going to let you totally displace us. That's just
that's not fair. Cool. It's not fair. And the other thing is that they have a huge screen.
Right.
So like if you can't see, you could just back up a little bit, and it's all right up there on the screen.
And it's not like this thing where it's like, oh, if I'm not up front, then I'm going to get a bad viewing. Because there's another level that you can go to.
Yeah, you could go to the upper deck.
And then you can go back.
Deck 12.
And there are a bunch of stairs that you can stand on. You can watch from there. And so there's like a lot of places where if you're worried about, oh, I'm not tall enough or whatnot, you can get a good view of this where you can see over other people. And
at the end of the show, it turns into kind of a dance party anyway.
Yeah.
And so people are all dancing around on the deck, and then it just disperses into just a crowd, like just a mob, which is totally fine. Then if people want to go up, get closer, then when the characters are all over, it's like it didn't matter. So anyway, whatever. That's a whole other thing.
One nice thing is that they do have like kind of handicapped seating off to the left of the stage.
That was great.
That was great.
So the character and outdoor shows, those were great.
Those were great.
I loved the sail away party. I mean, that was fun. All that stuff's fun. But again, you don't have to have some like amazing view. We only did the one where we got down in front. The other ones we went up on deck 12 and we just kind of didn't even get up on the front edge. We just kind of looked over people and kind of looked at the screen.
Like the pirate show, we were like on the second floor and
back,
didn't have like a decent view
yeah.
at all. Really.
Speaking of, there are fireworks after the later evening pirate show.
Pirate
the one,
show.
not the character one, but the one that has like the live musicians playing. And if you're on the ground, the Aqua Mouse kind of blocks the view of the fireworks.
Yeah.
So if you're facing the screen and the stage, the fireworks are going to be up here. So we had gotten a tip to go ahead and go up on deck 12, I think it would have been, up there on the side.
Yes.
And so that was another reason we didn't care what our view was, because when the fireworks happened, we just like turned around and boom, the fireworks were like right there in front of our face.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And it was more of a fireworks show than I expected.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I was like, oh, yeah,
it was on a cruise ship.
I know.
Was cool. It was cool.
It's
I don't even know where they were launching them from. It was cool.
I mean, I was like, where's the projection mapping?
Oh my gosh. No, it was awesome. It was awesome.
I want to say also, something that you kind of forget about. And so they have the funnel vision that's up on
it's the giant screen.
The giant screen, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have like iconic Disney movies playing like all the time.
Oh, and I loved that.
Yeah.
It was fun. And they like fit the theme.
Right. And so it was great because, I'm just kind of reminded that, this is something that no other cruise line can do. Like, they can't have Disney stuff just playing all the time. Like, the great music, the memorable stuff like that.
And it fits. Like, on Pirate Night, when you walk in the hallway from your stateroom to elevators, I was hearing Disney sea shanties.
Right.
I was hearing
Yo ho.
Yeah, no, I was hearing the one from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh yeah.
Whale of a Tale. They were doing well. I was like, Whale of a Tale, yes! That is not an overplayed Disney song. I love it.
Yeah. But I was just saying, it's like having that there, that's the Disney magic, is having those iconic songs being played, and you're in the pool and you're like, oh, you're hearing Hercules singing and stuff, and like that's great, and that's kind of the little things I'm like, oh yeah, that's why they put that out there, and that's why it's able to it kind of adds the Disney
magic.
It
was fun. It was really fun. Yeah, I loved the vibe of that whole area. We like people. We like energy. Speaking of nightlife. So we also like some nightlife. I know it's weird because we're like fairly like serious. Well, we're Disney vloggers. We're not that serious. but like, we're professionals.
Yeah.
We're professionals with careers, and we're fairly kind of buttoned down and serious in our careers. Mm-hmm. But we also like to go dancing.
I like to go out.
We like dancing. We like to have fun. We're very social in that way. Uh-huh. And this was pretty tepid.
Well,
as far as nightlife.
I mean, maybe this should be expected.
Maybe, yeah.
Because, and I think maybe part of it is, so they had several of the silent discos.
Yeah, a couple of them.
A couple of them,
maybe. Yeah. Well, the silent disco is just awkward.
That's true. And I think that's part of the problem is like I would actually prefer a loud disco.
Yeah.
Just give me a loud disco or a not so loud disco. Just
moderately
like
loud disco.
Just music.
It's playing, unfortunate. I understand why they do it, because they don't want to disturb all the people around or whatever.
Yeah.
But like it takes some of the energy out of the room, and it's hard to connect with other people that aren't people you already know. Like I tried. That was something I actually felt like we both try to do. We try to meet people. Like when we're at Disney World, we go to Oga's Cantina and they put us at a table with other guests. We talk to the other guests.
Yeah.
We want to get to know the other guests. We are, even though we were a party of 6, so we had our own table at the dining rooms, we would have welcomed being seated with other people. We would have visited with them. We like to make friends. We like to meet people.
Yes.
So if you see us and you're like, oh no, I don't want to bother them, talk to us.
Feel free.
We like people. I mean, unless you're like rude or mean. But no, like we like people. We enjoy it. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we vlog is because we like to make connections with other people. And so it was a little hard. Part of it was like, just like the silent disco doesn't really support, meeting people and dancing and getting in a big group, and because you're listening to different music at the same time.
That's probably the biggest problem is it's like there's 3 channels.
Yeah, you could be on different channels.
each group is like listening to like different stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is different, and the beats don't necessarily align.
Yeah, it's weird.
So it's.
But more than that, I felt like I kept trying to like make connections with people, and people just sort of kept to themselves more than I expected. Like I thought maybe we'll meet more people.
Yeah.
That we want to visit with, or maybe want to connect with on social media and stuff, and I felt like most people just kind of kept to themselves.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more introverted crew than I kind of expected.
And I don't know if
and maybe it's just that just happened to be the same.
I don't
thing
know.
we had.
And maybe maybe we went to the wrong silent disco. That was the first night.
Well, the next one we went to, we ended up just chatting with the cast member a lot.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody there.
But anyway, so Nightlife, not exactly the place to go for that. Maybe we need to go on a different cruise line for that, and that's okay. We could do that. And finally, live music. Obviously, the magic and the music were very much about the music. The shows were great. I actually want to talk for a minute about the stage shows. So there were 3 shows in the Walt Disney Theater, the big theater, which is beautiful, by the way. And so they did like a kind of a sail away type. I can't remember the name of it. But the first night, it was like a 30-minute show. Yeah. And it was like, I was just shocked. Like, it was so much more than I thought it would be.
It was very good.
It was like characters, and it was props and set pieces
and dancers
and effects and like dancers
and flying
pyro and like it was like this is like a whole thing.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
I was blown away. Loved it. Great experience. You can't record them, unfortunately, so I can't share any.
So
of it.
No video of that.
Sadly.
One thing is, they got popcorn out front. We consume that a lot.
Yes, get the popcorn bucket.
Get the popcorn bucket. Get the popcorn. You do have. That's the one thing you have to pay for is popcorn.
Weird. It's like popcorn is so cheap.
It's $1.50.
Why is that not free?
Whatever.
I don't get it. It's like, oh no, it costs you 5 cents, Disney. You can't get that for free, but you'll give me crab legs. Okay.
Confused. But then the seating is spacious in some places and cramped in others.
Yeah.
So just be kind of aware that, like we were off to the side one side at a time, and like my knees were pressed into the seat in front of me. And then we were in the more center section another time, and I felt like I had plenty of room.
Yeah.
So just be kind of cognizant that like not all the seats have the same leg room.
Yeah.
But like shows, amazing.
Great. Yeah. So then we had the Little Mermaid show, which is 60 minutes. And so it's a condensed story. It's kind of... I liked that they didn't try to make them have mermaid tails. They just kind of went with like a, I don't know, kind of an interpretation.
Yes.
Yeah, a rough approximation. It worked. It worked well. So that one was good. I really enjoyed it. The performers were wonderful. The dancers were wonderful.
Yes, good.
They had, I think, 2 like Broadway credited performers that do the shows. So very high quality. I really enjoyed all the singers and performers. I thought everyone was very good quality.
And these singers and dancers, they're in all 3 shows.
Yeah. So you'll notice them in different roles.
Yeah. And we have to compliment whoever is the swing who's like filling in for people.
I can't imagine.
That'd be really tough because it's like 3 shows.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oof, it's a lot.
So then the final show was Aladdin. Which was... I think it might have been my favorite.
It was my favorite by far.
Yeah. I thought it was stronger than Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
So really fun show, great production numbers. Just I don't want to spoil anything for people, but just all the little extra pluses that you would expect from Disney. Yeah. Think of any Disney theme park show you've gone to, and it's going to be that plus experience.
Yes.
So it's going to be more immersive. There's going to be a lot going on. Things like when you walk into the theater, like I noticed when we went in for the Little Mermaid one, they shift the lighting, and the color is different. And then it feels kind of like an ocean theme. And like you come in and you can hear the waves and the seagulls, like as you're walking into the house to sit down. And then they have projection mapping in the theater that does wrap around. And so they can like project different things and effects. So in that way, it was like more immersive than if you went to see like a touring company of a Broadway show or something like that. It was more immersive because it's like a permanent venue. And so they have more of those features that are specific to the shows.
And I will say, if you're going to sit someplace, I'd try and like sit down close in the center if you can. I mean, I know that sounds kind of obvious, but they do have people that go on the aisles.
Oh yeah, sometimes
sometimes the actors are out in the aisles, and then
and if you're on the floor, like it's usually considered orchestra level. Like if there was a pit, that's where it would be. That's where you're going to be most immersed into the experience.
But if you're up close and on the side, kind of far to the side, you might have some issues with viewing kind of deeper things into the set.
A little bit view obstructed.
But it's
no spoilers. But if you're watching the Aladdin show and you happen to be up on the upper balcony, far right side from the audience perspective, if you sit way over in that area, you might be a little closer to some action. That's all I'll say about that.
I forgot about that.
It'd be kind of a fun surprise if you happen to be there. So anyway, a lot of fun. And no, they're not going to involve you if you're scared about like getting picked and brought up on stage. It's not that kind of show. So don't worry about that. Yeah, so I loved the performances. It was a lot. That exceeded my expectations more than anything. I think that was probably a fun treat.
The genie was funny, and all the singers were excellent. Dancers were great. One thing I will say is, music-wise, there's not any. The only thing that's live is like the lead vocals. Right.
So it's like a backup track, but it's a beautifully produced, beautiful quality backup track with like full chorus and everything, and then they layer the vocals on it. And so they are singing live, but if something happened to their mic, there's certainly a backup track that they could boost to fill in if there was a problem. But I mean, you can hear them singing. Like, they're really singing, and the performers are really good singers. But it's a little weird because, the whole company, like, is mic'd.
Right.
But the chorus you're hearing, I don't think their mics are turned up very much on that. It's mostly you're hearing the recording. Yeah, but and I actually,
it's harder for me to pick that stuff out.
I felt like the mic levels on the soloists
could have been higher.
They were a little low, and they were all so good. It was like, I want to hear them. Can you just boost the soloists just a little bit more?
I mean,
so the balance was just a little off there.
Maybe it was because we were in the front too. I mean,
it could have been. Yeah, and it actually got better on Aladdin. I felt like Little Mermaid, the balance was just a bit more off. Yeah. So that was kind of a backstage sort of adjustment.
And they had some great dancers too. Like we saw like the fellow who played Carpet in the elevator. And we're like,
Magic
Carpet.
You did great. Yeah, we saw him and we were like, I was like, I know you. That was really fun. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us for part 3 of our reaction to our Disney Wish cruise. We will have the next segment, part 4, coming up soon for you. And in the meantime, please be sure to check out the links in the comments below, where we're going to have links to products that we would recommend for you to get the most out of your next cruise. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye.